Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to the first episode of the Film Room for the 2020 year. This is exciting. These are the kind of videos that I want to make. Normally, I don't do Film Room videos on prospects that have already been drafted, but I did some research for a project that fell through, and I figured why not use that information to make this video, because I'm very excited about Zack Moss, and I'm going to tell you about why today. So, Zack Moss. As you can see by the board, I have another player up here, Kareem Hunt. And it is not, I'm not the only one to come to this conclusion, but having dug deeper, I'm really excited about this comparison, but I do think that Zack Moss has the tools and the talent and the historical stats, something like that, to be the NFL's next Kareem Hunt, at least on the field. All right, so that's an important distinction. All right, so Zack Moss, what do we know about him? Well, he hails from the University of Utah. Utah Utes, I think is how you pronounce it. Anyway, just joking. All right, so Zack Moss, 5'9", 223 pounds. He scored a combine grade at the NFL Combine of 6.32, 40 time 4.65, bench press 19. He was picked in the third round with pick 86 overall. If you've watched my guys video prior to the NFL Draft 2020 and the Buffalo Bills draft class recap, you already know I'm very high on this prospect. I think he's going to be something special. All of these numbers, if you're questioning any like the combine grade, the 40 time, those all come from the NFL Combine's website that they generously provide for us to peruse through. So that's the tale of the tape with Zack Moss. Let's move over to Kareem Hunt for a second. Kareem Hunt, 5'10", 216 pounds, a combine grade of 6.1, 40-yard dash time 4.62, bench 18. He was also picked round 3, pick 86 overall. Spooky. All right, and then the other little nugget I have down here is that Zack Moss, his pre-draft rankings, because I'm always interested in those, like where did you get this guy in terms of value compared to where the analysts thought he should go. And teams always have way different, way weirder draft boards than any of us ever come up with. I mean, just look at the Seahawks for the last 3 years. So Zack Moss was ranked 77 on PFF's big board and 76 overall on the Athletics consensus board. The consensus board takes all a numerous amount of big boards throughout the NFL mock draft landscape and puts them all together into one big mush and spits out a big giant ranking of 300 players. So he was 76 on that, 77 on PFS, and he went 86 overall, so pretty good value in terms of draft capital. So we've already talked about Zack Moss, we've talked about Kareem Hunt, you see the stats, and the comparisons are very interesting. And the one thing that I think is interesting is the tape, and we're going to go to that in a minute, and hopefully I can cut away properly. But Zack Moss has the elusiveness, he's got some very good vision, and he's very good at making people miss, especially on the first tackle. The other thing, he might even have a little bit better of a ability doing pass catching out of the backfield compared to Kareem Hunt, and we're going to take a look at that right now, so roll the video. So as we sit here and watch Zack Moss versus Oregon, the Pac-12 championship from last year, you wanted to pay close attention to a couple of things. Number one, his patience. Number two, his vision. And number three, how he is really able to make the first guy miss quite a bunch. And as we watch this, I'm going to go ahead and give you his college stats for his career at Utah. Finished with 712 total carries for 4,067 yards, 38 touchdowns, and he averaged a modest 5.7 yards per carry. He was also pretty good out of the backfield, 66 catches, 685 yards, 3 touchdowns. And during his time at Utah, he amassed 3 1,000-yard seasons on the ground. And we'll just go ahead and cover his final year at the university. His senior season, he had 235 carries, which is a lot, 1,416 yards, 15 scores, and 6.0 yards per carry. So I made the comparison that he could be the next Kareem Hunt, so I felt it was only right to go ahead and look up his career totals while in college. And Kareem Hunt finished with 782 carries, 4,945 yards, 44 touchdowns, and 6.3 yards per carry. He was also pretty good out of the backfield as well, with 73 catches, 555 yards, and 1 touchdown during his career, where he also managed 2 1,000-yard campaigns. So as you look at the career totals for both Zack Moss and Kareem Hunt, there's a lot of overlap, go figure. And I think that that has a lot to do with them testing very similarly at the NFL Combine. You know, they don't have blazing fast speed, but the traits they succeed with are very valuable because you get a running back who's patient, who can find the hole. He's also good in the passing game, which is what you absolutely do need in today's NFL. You need versatile running backs who can get into the flats and absolutely go over the middle underneath to pick up yards that are tough. And Zack Moss does all those things. And the other thing that surprises me, as you've probably seen a couple of times, is that Zack Moss is actually not that bad at pass protection. It's a little scary at times, but it's a lot better than some of the other running backs you see, and especially in the last few years, it's something that you know sort of pick up on, is that when running backs fall in the draft, or you know maybe they have really productive college careers but they don't get drafted, is usually because the coaches are very, very scared about their pass protecting ability. But Moss seems to be one of those players who is able to do that if asked. So he should be able to be a guy that is able to be out on the field for all three downs. Now, the Buffalo Bills do have Devin Singletary on their roster, and they did invest a pretty good pick in him last year. I can't remember what it was. It was a third or fourth, I think, probably a third. So there is going to be a little bit of a running back by committee early on, but the nice thing about running back is it's one of the more easier positions to transition into the next level, going from college to the NFL. So we should see Zack Moss be able to put what you're seeing on film now on film at the next level on Sundays. And one other stat that I want to leave you with as we wrap up here is that Zack Moss was actually the leading running back last season in college for forced missed tackles with 89. He beat Jonathan Taylor, who finished with 87, and A.J. Dillon, believe it or not, who finished with, I believe it was 86. So very impressive. Oh, no, A.J. Dillon had 81. I just decided to flip the page of my notebook, and I found I had the wrong stat, but that's okay. All right, so what have we learned? Zack Moss, pretty good running back. Pretty good vision. He's elusive. He can work out of the backfield, and he's not bad at pass protecting. Now, is he going to blow you away with his amazing speed? No, probably not. But he's definitely a running back of very high quality, and I think he could definitely succeed at the next level. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for joining me down this little journey of the film room. Also, I didn't want to leave without pointing out that I got myself a new hat, so it'll be appearing in more videos. Keep rowing the boat. Row the boat. Do the thing.